Ilhan Omar, from her own disclosure, valued her assets between $6 and $30 million. But when the crackdown, once it started happening in Minnesota and investigations, people started looking into exactly what's been going on. And over 96 people currently locked up in a $300 million money scheme decided to reevaluate the assets and adjust to right under 100,000 US dollars and just call it accounting error. She expects you and I to believe that this is just what it was. The first time we just overlooked the numbers and we thought there was just extra zeros. But let me ask you a question. How do you mistake 6 and 3? Yeah, 6 million, 30 million, 100,000. The numbers don't even add up. I would understand if somebody said, well, I thought it just was right about $1 million. We just overlooked a zero, but 100,000, like 6 to $30 million, and then you just bring it down to 100,000. That's crazy. So she was on the Breakfast Club and did a fantastic interview. And by fantastic, I mean she hung herself because everything she said that I'm about to play right now, to me, just tells you the tales of a liar. And if you are very good at paying attention, reading people's body language, reading people as they are speaking, picking up on the cues, the words that they are saying, how they are saying those words, you can tell when somebody's telling the truth and when somebody is lying. Except she's just not a compulsive liar who just believes her own lies. And so we're able to tell the truth from the lies. So let's get into what happened on the Breakfast Club. This is going to be really great.
Stay here for a second.
Yeah.
Republicans, like Lauren said, they are pushing this ethics probe over your family's finances and your husband's business dealings. What do you think that's really about? Is it accountability or politics?
Well, it's not accountability because they haven't done anything formally, right? So it is just politics. It's like we're gonna subpoena, we're gonna do that. It's like it's all of these things that are not, they're never going to do. So they're just saying it because then that gets them an interview on Fox or Newsmax, or you'll see they tweet and like 5 minutes later, if you check, they already got a clip of themselves being interviewed 5 seconds later. And so it is more about and it's usually like a lot of members that struggle to get or are like really desiring, right? Like there are a lot of members who come to Congress and they are comms heavy. Their office is very comms heavy. They're trying to get on every TV show that they can. And so that's what a lot of it is like driven by since I got there. It's like you say something about Ilhan, people fundraise, they're buying me a ticket back home. It's like it's all of this stuff. I joked with Nancy Mace that she could drop off the ticket because I'm next door to her office. She hasn't dropped off a ticket yet. If you mean it, send me that ticket, but it's all about, how do I get this click? How do I, then send the fundraising email? How do I say, I'm holding Ilhan accountable? There's never really anything that they're.
It's so
Stay here for a
Yeah. So what essentially is happening here, she is downplaying the whole idea that the reason the Republicans are looking into it, it's just for political schemes. It's just driven by political uh, uh, appetite, for lack of a better term. Everybody wants to have their 5 minutes on TV. They want to be on Fox the next minute. And I am the most famous and popular person right now. So if you just talk about me, all of a sudden everybody's interviewing you the next second. So she is downplaying this, right? Except the actions that follow up afterwards say the exact opposite. Because after this interview, not long after that, she realizes that what she is saying, a lot of stuff that she said on here, had a cause to effect. And we're going to get into that. Okay. And you can tell she is just stuttering. She can't speak. It was just a lot of those things there. Really? I don't see any confidence right there. So let's get into the next clip. So that was a perfect setup right there. So let's get into the next clip, and you're going to see it gets even more interesting.
haven't seen
The,
it.
the Justice Department has said that they're also going to look into your husband. Are you concerned about that?
They haven't said. I haven't seen a single investigation.
That's what I was wanting to know.
Yeah,
So is there an investigation?
if you know of
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
let me know.
I wouldn't call it an investigation.
Yeah.
There's just been a focus on the rapid increase in your
Well, they-
household wealth tied to your husband's companies.
Well, they have to make
Yeah.
a choice to investigate, right? Like, do they choose
They
to
do not.
investigate or not?
I mean, if you've done something illegal, you would investigate.
But they're not investigating you.
Stay here for a
I am
second. now.
not being-
Republicans, like Lauren said, they are pushing this.
Sorry.
Holding on to, yeah.
So are you saying that some of these investigations are more partisan than others? 'Cause
I haven't
the-
seen
the,
it.
The Justice Department has said that they're also going to look into your husband. Are you concerned about that?
They haven't said. I haven't seen a single investigation.
That's what I was wanting to know.
Yeah,
So is there an investigation?
if you know of
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
let me know.
I wouldn't call it an investigation.
Yeah.
There's just been a focus on the rapid increase in your
Well,
household wealth tied to your husband's companies.
Well, they have to make
Yeah.
a choice to investigate, right? Like, do they choose
They
to
do not.
investigate or not?
I mean, if you've done something illegal, you would investigate.
but they're not investigating you.
I am not being.
So here's exactly what happened after this. The husband went on to dissolve his wine business. He went on to dissolve his wine business. Because how do you go from somebody who makes money? How do you go from somebody who doesn't make money to all of a sudden, I'm a millionaire, and you feel very comfortable to disclose your assets? To disclose, let the world know that all of a sudden you are a millionaire. But once they start looking into it, you go ahead and adjust for fear of, once again, people investigating. If you don't have anything to hide, why would you go to amend and all of a sudden now you are very thorough with your accounting? But you wasn't thorough the first time. Why would you hire incompetent DEI accountants to look over your financial assets? And here's the thing, when you know that you have a certain amount of money in your bank account, your lifestyle changes based on how much you have. So you would know if you only have $100,000 and when you have $6 million, you know there is a big difference. Your lifestyle changes, your access to things changes, the way you live changes. You know what you have and you know what you don't have. So how is any sensible person just going to literally glide over that and say, you know what, I believe what Ilhan is saying, or Ilhan is saying. I believe her. It was just an accounting error. We should just all overlook this and just move on, because right here there is nothing that we need to look over, guys. It was just for a show. All of this was just a show, guys. How is any sensible person just going to believe that? Make it make sense. Okay? Just make it make sense. So I have another video here for you guys.
Your household wealth tied to your husband's companies. You understand why that raises questions for people watching from that.
Yeah, but that's again one of the. It's their saying, right? Like there is no wealth increase. If you look at my husband's income, it's almost non-existent. He's, helped make sure our children are, going to college, and our young one is taken care of.
Hold on. How do you go from the finances from my husband, they're almost non-existent, but then he helps to take care of the children to go to college? Do you know how much college costs in America? It's very expensive. Really expensive. Yeah. So how are you still going to be able to afford that? You have to be making something. Surely you have to be making something in order to afford any of those things. Not everybody has the luxury to even afford anything to help people to go to college.
There is no wealth. There ranges the businesses that he was invested in. I'm pretty sure. Um, I don't even know what
What they say? Well, correct me if
those
I'm wrong.
things. Yeah,
Because
Wait, there is no wealth? I mean, that's
said you reported a net worth between 6 million and 30 million, and they said your 2023 disclosure was roughly 40,000, between 40,000 and a quarter million.
yeah, but they're
That's-
not net worths. They're like the asset things for the companies, and so I don't know what percentage of it my husband actually has investment in. Like that's not, you know what I mean? It's not a full picture of the numbers in the way that it is presented in the document, because in the documents we have to do ranges and we have to like report in a way that is not detailed. It's not like your tax return that you're submitting for the public record to see.
But that is a big increase, though. So you could understand why people would
Yeah,
ask questions.
yeah.
At least.
But I'm pretty sure it'll get like adjusted at some level when those ranges are looked at.
okay, guys. It was just the asset things. It was just the asset things. Okay. And we just had to give ranges. It was just ranging from point A to point Q. And once again, once we just have to look at the ranges. We're just going to have to look at the ranges and then we're going to adjust. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what they did. They just looked at the ranges and adjusted from 30 between 6 to 30 million down to 100,000 after just looking at the financial things, the asset things. Sorry, it's the asset things. And yeah, the ranges and the asset things. And we're just going to go ahead and adjust those things because this is what we do. Okay. How dare you question me and my asset things? Don't you dare question me and my asset things. Okay. How about this one right here?
That is the reason they are
Yeah.
trying to
Tie
create
that
this
together.
thing is because they think this supposed 30 million, or what did the president say, 44 million, is because of the fraud in Minnesota. They think like I've somehow gotten something, which is insane. But it's a huge problem. I think it's what now 230 million that has been
They say, well, 250 is what they say.
Yeah,
250
yeah,
misuse funds meant for child nutrition.
yeah, 230 to 250. There's been about 77 or so
75 defendants.
yeah, that have been indicted. Many of them have taken plea agreements.
That makes it. They got to make it hard for you, right? Just in general, not because you got anything to do with it,
Yeah.
but when he can point and say, "Well, this actually happened."
No, I mean it doesn't make it hard for me, but it does make it hard for the average Somali business owner.
There you go. Yeah.
It makes it hard for the average immigrant business owner. It makes it hard for the average Black business owner because it does create this cloud of suspicion, and and obviously it's become very politicized, and it will continue to be politicized as we get closer to November.
So notice how she is politicizing everything. She's painting herself to be a victim, and she thinks, well, they somehow think I have something to do with it. And by the way, I love how the strong African accent came out at the very beginning of this sentence of her talking because, yeah, by the way, we can't hide the African accents. Okay, we can talk proper sometimes, but the accent is still just gonna be there. And so, let me just tell you this: Somalians. I'm from Zambia, okay, and Somalians are some of the worst people who come into our country, and we always have to be on the lookout. for Somalians. They sneak in into the country, they sneak in through oil tanks, and some of them actually die in there. They sneak in illegally and they establish themselves. We have a Somalian crisis in Zambia, always, always, every single time, throughout the whole year. Okay. This is not anything new. So I truly understand what the United States of America is doing here. But back to Ilhan, she's making herself to be a victim and saying, well, they somehow think I have something to do with the $250 million, which is 300 by the way, and it's making it so hard for the Somalians to access any funds. It's making it very difficult for Black people, except she is making it difficult for Somalians, for honest Somalians and honest Black people to access these funds because, newsflash, she's actually involved in this. What she's also not telling us is about the requesting of $1 million in a federal earmark for Generation Hope in Minnesota, which was supposed to be a supposed substance abuse clinic in her district, which investigations found was housed in a small Somali owned restaurant. So the funding was ultimately removed. Ilhan Omar, I thought you were not by any way, shape, or form involved in any of this. So, how are you going to channel $1 million to a clinic for substance abuse? But the clinic is non existent. There's a freaking restaurant. And there is a lady who did this, can't remember her name. She did a fantastic job by going to the same restaurant and exposed exactly what was happening. Tell me if you're going to see a clinic in this clip right here.
You will find
Tomorrow? You've only worked here for a couple of days?
just restaurant, yes.
Oh, you just got the job?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
okay.
help her. She's with this.
Ah.
Help.
Come back. Can I ask you just one question real quick though? Because has there ever been a substance abuse clinic that operates out of here?
Clinic?
Yeah, like
No, no, no.
no clinic.
No, no.
Oh.
This place?
Yeah.
No, ever.
Never.
No.
Because have you ever heard of Ilhan Omar?
Ilan, she's our senator. How we don't know.
Yeah, of course. So she was trying to Yeah, yeah. So Ilhan Omar was what's that?
No, don't video with me.
Oh, okay. I won't video you. But I just wanted you to know that Ilhan Omar was trying to send $1 million to this address. Yeah.
I don't have any. Just
Yeah.
I have- That's it.
Yeah.
But I don't have any text with anything for her.
Okay.
But I'm not, you know.
Okay. But do the own
This is just priceless. And by the way, all these people in this restaurant, the woman who owns the restaurant and then the other two people live in the same apartment complex. They live under a house, apartment complex, whatever. They live in the same address. Okay. They live in the same address and they were listed as the people who run the clinic also. Can you imagine? Just imagine $1 million was going to be funneled through this clinic right here. Clinic, restaurant. I don't know what operation is going on, but it's not an operation that I think I would go to, right? So, which part is Ilhan Omar saying that she is not a part of? This is just the first part, guys. We're going to continue. There is more that I need to expose here. And like I said earlier on, the husband dissolved the wine business that has been subjected to investigation now. Because why would you just all of a sudden now dissolve the business? You, it's evident that you don't want something to be found. Why making all these moves? First, you went to adjust your finances, your assets, and then you dissolve the business when there is an investigation going. Your wife is just over there, just stuttering, but at the same time lying to say, "Oh, just bring it on, just come here. We have nothing to hide." If there is anything illegal going on, just come and investigate. Except when you go to question them, they get very defensive and they get very upset. Ooh, okay, interesting. Ilhan Omar.
Work with Ilhan Omar?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. Okay.
It doesn't sound like any clinic has ever operated out of there. Crossroad Health Services say that they were inside of Suite 6. They say they're excited to know they were awarded $4 million. It's a good time to mention that they say the visit from Senator Amy and Mayor Jacob Frey was more than a visit, it was an investment. Also, one time their address pulls up being out of Unit 100. How many nonprofits organizations have they operated that they had to put number 100? Yet sometimes the CCRC also shows up out of number 6, just like the health services. Yet on other searches, for some reason, they show up operating out of Suite A, which is strange because what happened to units 1 through 6 and how do you go from the alphabet to numbers all of a sudden? These people are using the 26 letters of the alphabet and numbers up to 100 to keep getting government funding. Also, my intuition is that Sagel Restaurant is just a letter change away from Sahal and the many other Sahal businesses.
Have a nice day. Thank you. You too.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Congress was a $1 million earmark from Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, which was an earmark that was supposedly going to a substance abuse clinic, which actually happened to be housed in a restaurant and run by 3 individuals that share the same residential address, according to their IRS paperwork. Tons of red flags. So this is what we saw with the fraud involving the daycare centers. Now we see other earmarks coming directly from members of Congress where it seems fraud is being perpetrated as well. So I raised the issue, and fortunately, the House has now stripped that earmark out of that spending bill. But again, this is how easy money has been flowing to bad actors in Minnesota. One of our
This is very interesting. This is very interesting. These are the people who claim that they went to Congress to represent their people and they have their people at best interest. Black Lives Matter, everything started right there in Minnesota. They were out there looting and destroying property. But then once they seen the gaps, the opportunities to go out there and steal, why not just go ahead and take it all? And what to the people who really have faith in them that just are blinded because they can get out and march with you in the streets and give you like what, $20 here, $20 there, incentivize you to go and destroy property so that they can just turn around and buy that property at very cheap costs. Oh, you don't think that happens? Absolutely. You destroy property. At that point, it loses value because the owners probably don't want to mess with the whole hassle to just start rebuilding. They would rather take the insurance money and sell it at a very cheap price to somebody who is willing to remodel that and just have that cycle coming in, right? And so people don't think about that when they are being used as political puppets, especially the Black people. They don't think about these things. They would rather just turn a blind eye and say, in unison, we are Democrats, we are liberals. But the people sitting at the top of the food chain, just celebrating, funneling the assets back to Africa, enriching each other. And at this point, do you think these people will really care if they get deported? They're building castles back in Africa whilst defrauding the system in America, making millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, millions and millions of dollars at your expense, my dearest Black people. It's time that you started waking up and seeing the evil. It's like the one mayor, the former mayor in Chicago. What is her name? Former mayor in Chicago. running. She is running in Atlanta as well. She went to register in Atlanta to run again because she got ran out from Chicago and she found a spot in Atlanta. Tiffany Henyard. Yeah, the bad sister Tiffany Henyard. She found her spot out of Chicago. She got ran out for embezzling money. I mean, she defrauded the city in millions of dollars. And you know what she decided to do? She decided to go to Atlanta to start registering so that she can run again, start just at the city level, council member. And then at that point, you know what? Might as well climb her way up to the top. And so these are things that we have to be very, very careful about and make sure that we always speak out against these things. It doesn't matter who it is. The problem is you get so glued to just one political party, political group, political ideology that you refuse to see between the BS that is being given to you. And so you are only left scrambling and scraping. Next thing you know, you're always on the bottom of the food chain enriching the wealthy and also enriching those who just look at you as pretty much a doormat or rag, tissue paper. They just wipe the floor with you. They wipe their behind with you, flush you down the drain because you don't matter. So why should have anybody, anyone for that matter, just give you self-respect, right? Will give you respect when you don't respect yourself. It's non existent. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to see the evil. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I will see you in the next video as we expose more of Ilhan Omar. So stay tuned. Make sure that you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you stay tuned to the next video. I am Lukun Kamlenga. Thank you for watching.